That's a hard start for her because she's been sitting for a few weeks. Because normally she just cranks up. So it was a request of cranking a T1, I guess is her name, but I just call her the Trailblazer. And a story about her not wanting to start up, not wanting to crank up. And so the worst experience that comes to mind for me was whenever I had a Caprice. I had a 93 bubble body Caprice with a 350 Police Interceptor LT1 in it. And I bought the Trailblazer. And because we were moving to Hawaii, I wasn't going to be able to send the Jeep, the Caprice, and the Trailblazer all to Hawaii because it's rather expensive to send vehicles over there. So someone wanted to purchase her, and it was a cook that worked at a restaurant that I was managing, and she still is. Normally she's a click over. And he stole her. And so I had to file a police report and everything like that. They found her in Florida. I was in North Carolina. And so I took my fairly new Trailblazer, this one, down to Florida with a long car hauler trailer. And when I was renting it, I said, does it have a spare? And they're like, you're not going to need a spare. And I said, well, I want to have a spare just in case. So they threw a spare on there. And I got down to Florida, picked up the car, slept in the Trailblazer a couple hours until the shop opened up, parked the trailer right out in front so they couldn't miss me. They had no idea what was going on because the vehicle got towed and I had to pay a bunch of money and all this other stuff. So I'm making my way back up to North Carolina, and I'm like 3 hours away from home, and one of the tires just busts and on the trailer while I'm going uphill in the dark at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so I have to, there's no shoulder. It's a 2-lane, super old highway. Like all the variables of just this can't be happening. And so I had to stop right there in the middle of the road. And well, not in the middle, but like I'm taking up the right lane of a 2-lane highway. And I put my caution lights on and I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? Because like I clearly know how to change a tire, but given that I'm in the middle of nowhere and anyone can just like run up and hit me, I was scared. So I called the police, and like a dum-dum, I turned my Trailblazer off and had my caution lights going the whole entire time. And so essentially the police get there, and you know, their vehicle's offering coverage, and I'm out there trying to change the tire on the spare with a bottle jack from the Trailblazer, and it's just like, it's a nightmare. And I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, this is one of those times where like I really wish that this officer would help. And then out of nowhere, this like super redneck guy, and I say that affectionately, just pulls up and he's like, y'all need some help? I was like, yes sir, I need some help. Because, you know, the police officer didn't know how to change a tire, and I was doing it, and it was like, it was very annoying with the trailer and the car and, you know, all this stuff. And so he had a jack, like a travel jack that was way better than my bottle jack that I was using. And he just slides it under there and he just starts, you know, going to town, changing out the tire. And I was very excited. I was like, thank you so much. And so we get the tire on there. And this example is why I always wait until I see someone drive off. Because like Mr. Redneck and Mr. Police Officer just left me. Because I'm like, all right, thank you for the help. And I'm like waving them on. And I get back to the Trailblazer and I try to start her and she doesn't start. And she's like, and I'm like, oh my goodness. my battery's dead. You've got to be kidding me. So then my mom is calling because like she had she was receiving play-by-plays on this whole thing. So not only was my battery dead on my Trailblazer, and now because I've tried to start her, now she's not illuminating her hazards or anything because she's like dead as a doornail. But my mom is calling me and I look at my battery and I'm like, Mom, my battery's on 6%. I gotta let you go. I have to call the police again and hope that they can come out here before somebody hits me, because now I'm gonna be like completely dark in the right lane of a two-lane highway going uphill. And she's like, okay, well, you gotta tell me where you are, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, well, if my phone dies and I'm telling you, then you're not going to be able to tell the police where I am, because I have no idea where I am, because like this was in the days before like GPS, and I used printed out MapQuest directions to get to where I was going. So I call 911 back and I'm like, hey, they just left me, my battery's dead, I need to jump. And then a different officer comes out, and I'm telling him while he's like working on jump starting the Trailblazer, he's like, you mean to tell me that guy was letting you change the tire? And I was like, yes, sir. He's like, I'm gonna talk to him. That's ridiculous. I'm glad one of our citizens like helped you instead. And I was like, yeah, I know, me too. And so we had to sit out there for a while, slow charging the Trailblazer because she was super dead. And then eventually she finally cranked up and we continued on our way with the trailer. And I made sure to let the trailer rental place know that, you always need to make sure that your customer has a spare tire. It's just good practice, because my tire blew. So that's my hard starting Trailblazer story, because she's always been pretty good and she never leaves me in like a bad spot. And if she has something stupid happen, typically I can figure it out and get her going. But yeah, pretty much all the variables of a bad story. You have like going uphill, dead battery, caution lights, changing a tire, and then of course dead battery and having to wait to get it started. I think the least scary thing was that like I had a quarter of a tank of gas, because normally when I'm traveling I do half tanks, and so I wasn't able to find a gas station. But I knew that I would be able to find a gas station before I ran out of gas. But that's one of those reasons that I have a protocol of, if I'm traveling out of state or out of my normal area, I fill up every half tank so that I don't have to be sweating and getting nervous that I can't find a gas station. So you requested a startup and a story about her not wanting to start up. She's kind of dragging with her ignition. Normally I can just pop her and then she starts. And here's a little rev too. Yeah, I have a ton of keys, so. I love the little click because she locks me in. I have like little favorite things of each vehicle, and this is one of my favorite things for her. But you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. You're already liked and subscribed. So just have a fantastic day. See you next time. Bye.